Hey guys, it's Ben the Coin Geek at Old Pueblo Coin. Thank you so much for being here today and every day. We appreciate you being around, myself and the crew here. Without you, there is no the Coin Geek channel. We're just a bunch of people looking at coins by ourselves. But please like, share, subscribe, do all those things because that pushes us up into the algorithm, which helps us get in front of those lowly baseball card collectors so they can realize I should be collecting coins instead. That's really one of our main goals here. And have a wonderful, safe Memorial Weekend. Thank you to everyone who has served and also for the families of those who've had loved ones who've passed away to protect our freedoms. It is greatly appreciated. It's not lost on me or anyone else here at Old Pueblo Coin that we get to do coins for a living. Like how cool is that, right? So also thank you to everyone for their prayers and consideration about the nodules in my neck. And just so you know, there's nothing cancerous going on that we can find so far. Currently, we're just kind of in the status quo, we're kind of in an airplane circling motion, waiting to land. I don't know that anything's going to happen in the next 6 months to a year. We're probably going to be in a wait and see and monitor kind of mode for a little bit. So thank you for your concerns on that. Now on to some one more note, and then we'll get on to some questions here. I will be at the Salt Lake City, the Sandy, Utah show in June, the 13th and the 14th. I am planning on not getting a table at the coin show. It is a coin show and bottle show. The coin show is Friday, Saturday. The bottle show is Saturday only in conjunction with the coin show. So I plan on walking the show on Friday, and on Saturday, probably being set up at the bottle show section with my buddy Jamie. Maybe I'll have a few coins out there, but if you're going to be anywhere near Salt Lake City or Sandy, Utah, June 13th and 14th. I'd love to meet you there. All right, so onward and upward. Here we go with some questions. First of all, from Jerry saying, hey, when forever stamps were introduced in 2007, they were 41 cents. That's a 78% increase in 17 years, 73 cents, soon to be 78 cents. Stamps were used as money at one point privately to make change. Should they be again? Should they be money? Okay, so I don't think we're going to use forever stamps as change because, you know, at this point, a dollar doesn't go very far with inflation. But what I would like to point out, and I had to answer this question, was simply because the engineer has long argued that forever stamps were one of the best investment / inflation protection units that you could purchase. The only problem is the redemption value, which is to say, you just have to use them. You can only use them one way. People don't take them as money. There's no place to go redeem them for money. You have to actually use them. So in that regard, it's maybe not exactly the best for, you know, a monetary substitute. But at the same time, it is inflation proof. I go ahead and buy, you know, a few hundred of them, and then by the time you die, maybe you've worked your way through half of them, sending out however many letters you send every year, which might not be that many. All right, here we go. Gary is talking about the new Silver Eagles with the Privy marks. We talked about that last week, that they're coming out again with a Privy mark. The U.S. Mint is with the eagle that looks like the eagle on the back of the Sacagawea dollar. Thanks for that correction, everybody. And, you know, you have to get them originally through a game, but now you can buy them direct. I can buy them, and I'm going to buy some, and we'll talk more about that. But he's talking about the difference between getting an MS69 or an MS70. He says, I'm a Silver Eagle collector. I will buy one raw, uncertified Silver Eagle with the Eagle Privy mark, but that's all. Buying an MS69 makes some sense if you want a coin certified and in a holder. Buying an MS70 in this category of collector who buy the label and not the coin makes no sense to me at all. So this is interesting. So what we're talking about is a lot of the MS70 coins will be several $100s with the special labels. You know, maybe they started at about 150. I don't even know if I saw them that cheap on the MS70s, but MS69s you can buy for starting at about 75 bucks, which is pretty close to the actual cost involved in getting the Silver Eagle in, getting it certified and getting it shipped. So what's interesting, I was thinking more about this theory, is realistically, if you want an MS70, the thing to do most likely is to buy 3 of them raw, send them all in to get certified. You've probably got a pretty good chance of getting at least 170. And then depending on how your odds come back in your favor, or not in your favor, you sell off the other two. If you get a 70, that's assuming you end up getting a 70, which is an assumption that maybe we should not make. But we will see. I think it's a fascinating concept. I'm actually thinking about toying with the idea of getting some certified as a group and making the MS70s available to customers at a rate discounted from where they are in the open market. We'll see. I always get these ideas. They're never actually fully fleshed out, so I have to say them out loud. And then you guys can tell me, wow, that was really a stupid idea, which is fine. I need that, because otherwise, I'm just like a balloon floating untethered in the wind, hitting some electrical lines occasionally. All right, next up, Dana's saying, okay, Ben, you talk about common coins and hard to find coins. Putting this into time perspective, do you find common coins at every coin show? Will they be in every auction? Or is it more like once a month? Are hard to find coins seen once a year, every 5 years? In your opinion, what is the range of the most average coins as far as how often you see them? Should I find those once a year, twice a year, every other month? So this is an interesting concept. So we're talking about how hard it is to locate some coins, even though they're not super rare. And so this is a concept, I think generally in coin collecting, that I find most fascinating about coin collecting, because there are all the coins that are rare that you can buy any day of the week. I always pick on the poor 1909 SVDB, right? But there's lots of coins. If you're trying to put together some really nice looking proof V-nickels, it can be a little bit harder. There's going to be coins that are much more difficult to locate, right? So I'm going to jump back into something that I used to collect back when I was a kid. I used to collect Washington quarters, and I could find more decent graded 1932 Denver and San Francisco minted coins than I could a 1936 Denver coin, even though the 32 DNS are the more rare coin. And in the Lincoln Cent, you're talking about trying to find a really nice graded 14D, right? There's coins. Now that's talking about coins that are like both rare and expensive. But in general, this happens with inexpensive coins just as much. Trying to find Barber dimes in VF. I mean, you can spend months and months and months looking for any one given date and not find them anywhere. So the reality is that in the coin market today, because of the internet, if you're buying anything that's considered a high-end coin or a rare coin, you can kind of almost find them anywhere, right? The rare coins, the key date coins, right? Because they're going to be on eBay for sale right now. They're going to be in the Stacks or the Heritage or the Great Collections or, wherever. You're going to find, if you need an 89cc Morgan in XF, it'll be there, right? You can find it. It's all those things that are kind of in between that make coin collecting so fascinating, that are so hard to locate. Trying to find coins, like if you go through the gray sheet and you start looking at the price points on some of these coins and you see how hard they are to find, like try to find 3-cent silver pieces in a nice extra fine. It's just like there's coins out there that the price point doesn't seem to match the rarity, but the price point is based on that combination of demand and availability. And there's a certain amount of it, though, that's just like finger in the air, kind of like, okay, we think these should be, if you look at the gray sheet and you see a price point that's just like ubiquitous, like all the coins in extra fine are priced at $38. It's like, okay, well, go find those coins. Where are they? How do they exist? And so there's a lot of that in the coin market in general. So, Dana, I'd probably want to have the conversation more with you later about like what coins specifically you're thinking of. But when I make videos and I talk about coins that you rarely see, lots of times there'll be a coin that's not that expensive. Now, certainly there's plenty of times where it's a coin that's like a tough date and it's proof-like and it's something you never see. And, there is that, of course. But I'm always more fascinated just by the fact that there's so many things in the marketplace that just don't pop up. Same thing, especially with world coins or paper. If you watch any of my paper money videos, we talk a lot about, the availability of this stuff is like next to nothing, honestly, compared to coins, and coins compared to sports cards. Well, listen, coins are much more fun. Just can we all agree on that? I hope so. Don't make me get the big mouth bass involved here in this conversation. He'll side with me. All right, guys. So have a wonderful Memorial Day. Thank you for being here. We will be closed on Memorial Day as a group. So, don't expect any phone calls back that day. Everyone have a great week, and happy graduations to everybody who's graduated, and hope to see you all this summer sometime. Take care.